Brianna Maitland, a 17-year-old from Montgomery, Vermont, disappeared under mysterious circumstances on March 19, 2004. After finishing her shift at the Black Lantern Inn in Montgomery, Brianna left to drive home, but was never seen again. The next day, her car was found backed into an abandoned farmhouse, about a mile from her workplace, with its rear end lodged against the building and some personal items scattered inside. Despite extensive searches, no trace of Brianna has ever been found, and her disappearance remains unsolved. In 1994, a mysterious event occurred in the village of Rua, Zimbabwe, that left many puzzled. 62 schoolchildren at the Ariel School claimed to have witnessed a strange craft land in a nearby field during recess. The children reported seeing small humanoid beings with large black eyes exit the craft. The beings communicated telepathically with some of the children, conveying messages about the dangers of environmental destruction and technological misuse. The children were interviewed separately by teachers, investigators, and a Harvard psychiatrist who found their stories strikingly consistent. Despite their young age, the children described the event with a level of detail that convinced many they were genuinely frightened and confused. No physical evidence was ever found, and the incident remains a mystery. Alice Corbett, a 21-year-old student at Smith College in Northampton, Massachusetts, vanished under mysterious circumstances on November 13, 1925. On that day, Alice was last seen leaving her dormitory after breakfast, reportedly feeling unwell and seeking fresh air. She walked toward the nearby wooded area known as Paradise Pond, but never returned. Despite extensive searches by local authorities and the college community, no trace of Alice was found. Her disappearance sparked numerous theories, including accidental drowning, abduction, and even voluntary disappearance. The case remains unsolved to this day. In 1986, Japan Airlines Flight 1628, a cargo plane en route from Paris to Tokyo, was flying over Alaska when the crew spotted two unidentified objects near their plane. The captain described the objects as glowing and moving erratically. Shortly after, a large walnut-shaped craft appeared in the distance, trailing the plane for over 30 minutes. The crew reported the sighting to air traffic control, and radar operators confirmed an unidentified object near the aircraft. But despite the radar confirmation, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration attributed the sighting to a radar anomaly, and the incident remains unexplained. Bastiaan Adder, a Dutch conceptual artist known for his daring and poetic works, mysteriously disappeared in 1975 while attempting a solo transatlantic voyage. Adder set sail from the United States to Europe as part of his piece In Search of the Miraculous, aiming to cross the Atlantic in a small sailboat. He departed from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, in July 1975, intending to reach England. However, Adder never completed the journey. Months later, his boat was found adrift and empty off the coast of Spain, but no trace of the artist was ever found. His disappearance has fueled speculation about whether his death was accidental or an intentional part of his final artistic performance. The Black Knight satellite is a mysterious object that some conspiracy theorists believe has been orbiting Earth for thousands of years. The story of the Black Knight began in the 1950s, when signals and unexplained objects were reportedly detected by radio operators and astronomers, fueling speculation that an alien satellite was observing Earth. In 1960, an unidentified object was discovered by the U.S. Navy tracking satellites, adding to the intrigue. Over the years, various theories have emerged, ranging from extraterrestrial origins to debris from space missions, such as thermal blankets or defunct satellites. Some point to a 1998 NASA photo from the Space Shuttle Endeavour mission that shows a strange, dark object, which believers claim is the Black Knight. David Lewis Snedden, a 24-year-old American student from Brigham Young University, vanished while hiking in China's Yunnan province on August 14, 2004. Snedden was last seen near the Tiger Leaping Gorge, a popular hiking destination. Chinese authorities initially concluded that he had likely died in a fall or from an accident while hiking. However, no remains or belongings were ever found, and the case went cold. Years later, new theories emerged suggesting that Snedden may have been abducted by North Korean agents, possibly to serve as an English tutor in North Korea. This theory gained traction when similar abductions by North Korea were revealed. Despite these claims and efforts by his family and U.S. lawmakers, no definitive proof has been found. Colonel Percy Fawcett was a British explorer and archaeologist known for his expeditions into the Amazon rainforest. In 1925, Fawcett set out on his most ambitious journey, to find Z, a lost ancient city he believed existed deep within the Brazilian jungle, which he thought could be a remnant of a forgotten civilization. Fawcett, along with his son Jack and one of Jack's friend, vanished without a trace after reaching the Mato Grosso region. Despite numerous search expeditions over the decades, no definitive evidence of their fate has been found. Theories range from death by natural causes or disease to hostile encounters with indigenous tribes or being captured, but their disappearance remains unsolved. In 1963, the crew of the American ship SS Marine Sulphur Queen reported nothing unusual as they sailed off the coast of Florida in the Gulf of Mexico. But shortly after their last radio contact, the ship and all 39 crew members vanished without a trace. Despite extensive search efforts, including the use of planes and ships, no wreckage was ever found. The ship was carrying molten sulfur, a highly volatile substance, leading some to believe a fire or explosion might have occurred. However, the lack of any debris or distress signal baffled investigators. The disappearance remains a mystery. Sir Charles Kingsford Smith, an Australian aviation pioneer, disappeared mysteriously during a daring flight across the Andaman Sea in 1935. Kingsford Smith embarked on a flight from England to Australia in his plane, the Lady Southern Cross. During the leg between India and Singapore, Kingsford Smith and his co-pilot, Tommy Pethibridge, vanished without a trace. Despite extensive searches, no wreckage was found until 1937, when fishermen off the coast of Burma discovered a wheel believed to be from the plane, but no further debris or remains were recovered. Sneha Ann Phillip, a 31-year-old physician, disappeared on September 10, 2001, in New York City, under circumstances that remain a mystery. Sneha was last seen on surveillance footage shopping near her apartment in Lower Manhattan. She did not return home that evening, and the next day, the 9/11 attacks occurred just blocks from her apartment. Initially, her case was treated as a missing person investigation, but speculation grew that she may have perished while trying to help victims. In 2004, a judge declared her legally dead, citing the attacks, but doubts remained. In 2008, her name was added to the official list of 9/11 victims. Sneha's disappearance remains unresolved. The Broadhaven UFO incident is one of the most famous UFO sightings in Wales, occurring in 1977 in the small village of Broadhaven, Pembrokeshire. A group of 14 schoolchildren claimed to have seen a silver cigar-shaped craft land in a field near their school. The children described a large glowing object and reported seeing a figure in a silver suit inside the craft. Their accounts were remarkably consistent, sparking local and national media attention. Over the following months, other residents in the area also reported strange sightings of flying objects and mysterious figures. The area became known as the Broadhaven Triangle due to the number of unusual occurrences reported. While skeptics have suggested misidentification of military aircraft or natural phenomena, no definitive explanation has been provided. In 1957, John and Florence Pollock tragically lost their two daughters, Joanna and Jacqueline, in a car accident. A year later, Florence gave birth to twins, Jillian and Jennifer, despite no family history of twins. The twins began to exhibit eerie similarities to their deceased sisters. Jennifer had a birthmark identical to one Jacqueline had, and the twins started recalling specific details about places and events that only Joanna and Jacqueline would have known. As they grew older, these memories faded, but the bizarre case led many to speculate about reincarnation. The Pollock twins case has fascinated parapsychologists for decades, and while skeptics offer alternative explanations, the mystery remains. The Washington Flap, also known as the 1952 Washington, D.C. UFO incident, refers to a series of unexplained sightings over the U.S. Capitol in July 1952. On the nights of July 19th to 20th and July 26th to 27th, air traffic controllers at Washington National Airport and Andrews Air Force Base detected unidentified objects on radar moving at incredible speeds. Pilots, ground witnesses, and military personnel reported seeing glowing lights and strange aerial movements. In response, the U.S. Air Force investigated the events through Project Blue Book, attributing the sightings to radar anomalies caused by temperature inversions. However, many remain skeptical, given the number of credible eyewitnesses. The Washington Flap is one of the most well-documented UFO events and continues to stir debate. Weldon Keys, an American poet, painter, and jazz musician, vanished mysteriously on July 18, 1955, leaving behind a legacy of creativity and unanswered questions. Keys was a prominent figure in the post-war art and literary scene, known for his dark and existential poetry. On the day of his disappearance, Keys's car was found abandoned near the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, sparking speculation that he may have taken his own life by jumping from the bridge. However, no body was ever recovered, and the circumstances surrounding his disappearance remain unclear. Some believe Keys may have staged his own death to start a new life in Mexico, a place he often fantasized about, while others point to his growing disillusionment with life.